Yes, thank you. Thank you to all the members of the committee for this opportunity, and a special hello to MP Lloyd Longfield. My name is Madhur Anand. I am a professor in the School of Environmental Sciences at the University of Guelph. My own research has examined the impacts of climate change on ecosystems in Canada and worldwide, and also how human behavior and social dynamics can determine the success of climate change mitigation. Our research, some of which was just published yesterday, shows that a growing number of national level climate agreements can tip the balance towards achieving global targets. I'm also director of the Guelph Institute for Environmental Research, where researchers across all 7 of our colleges, engineers, ecologists, mathematicians, artists, and economists are all working on the interdisciplinary challenge of climate mitigation. No one group or sector will be able to solve it on its own. Canada has not met its obligation to reduce emissions according to international climate agreements, and this may very well be because we lacked legislation such as Bill C-12. Research on over 100 countries worldwide shows that passing a new climate law is correlated to reduced emissions. So there's hope here. This act is essential. The remainder of my comments have to do with Section 10 of the bill, the contents of the emissions reduction plan. This is because we simply cannot afford to reach Section 16 of the bill, failure to achieve targets. We know that time is short to head off a cascade of climate tipping points, and the nation isn't going to get a second chance to do this right. Regarding targets, which is in Section 10A, the bill proposes using the best scientific information available. Emission targets will be very hard to detect without sustained scientific work in measurement, monitoring, and modeling. The unaggregated data collected by various sectors needs to be accessible to both scientists and the public. Regarding scenario planning to meet the targets, assumptions about human behavior and societal uptake of technological change must be very explicit and realistic. Our own research shows that social learning, incentivizing behavioral change, and evolving social norms can influence the projected peak of global temperature by as much as 1 degree Celsius. Emissions targets need to account for both social-cultural processes and political speed bumps. This could also include consequences of missing targets early on, effects of which will be cumulative and even harder to mitigate. Regarding Section B, description of key emissions measures, Canada needs to see the writing on the wall. A fossil fuel-free global economy is inevitable, and the sooner Canada acts, the easier it will be to participate in the economy of the future instead of languishing on the past. We have evidence from over a dozen measures that have been effective in other countries at reducing emissions for the energy sector, and much of this technology already exists. Here, I want to focus on some other measures that are usually overlooked, namely land use changes, including sectors of agriculture and forestry. Measures need to include not only just new emissions, but also carbon sinks. In other words, the way we manage cover crops, grasslands, peatlands, forests, and avoid land degradation. These are all things that can help us achieve our targets. But alas, no new political or scientific measure can succeed if it does not have social approval. And this brings me to my comments for sections 10C and D on strategies. Rapid societal change is possible. We have seen this in the pandemic of how willing the public and the private sectors are to work together for a common goal and adopt new behaviors if they understand the risks and the benefits. The strategies should therefore demonstrate the economic, social, and environmental benefits of emission reductions so people in sectors can see the net benefits for Canada. In developing its strategies, the government must consult with not only natural scientists and economists, but also social scientists and those working across the arts, both within and outside of academia, and with Indigenous groups, all of who are able to help us change the language, change the culture, and change the narrative around climate change mitigation.
Thank you.